Okay, my name is Rita Davenport. I'm interviewing Debbie Allen on how she feels about how she felt when blacks were integrated into the schools. How old were you when you first started school?
5.
Do you remember what year it was?
64.
How old were you when you graduated high school?
17.
Do you remember what year it was?
76.
How many black students were in your elementary school?
None.
What grade were you in when black students first entered your classes?
In my own personal classes, probably not till high school, but they were in the school. They just weren't in my classes.
Okay. Why weren't there any black students in your classes before?
No idea.
No idea. What was said to you when you were first being told that black students were going to be at your school from now on?
Nothing. They were just there.
Nothing
was said.
Did any of your friends say anything to you about it?
No.
When they entered the same classroom as you, did it make you feel uncomfortable?
No.
And what did your parents say about the integration?
Nothing. It was never a subject at home.
How many friends did you normally see throughout the day?
Lots. It's a random number. I
So
couldn't really
you
give
were
a number.
popular. Were any of your friends black?
Yes.
About how many of them?
5 or 6, which back then was a large number because it was a small amount of students.
And did any of your white friends feel differently towards your black friends? Like, were you ever torn in between them because of
No.
racial issues?
No.
Okay.
I don't care. I get along with everybody. It doesn't matter to me.
Mm-hmm.
Other people may have had ideas.
What
but
sort of things were people saying? Like,
they
what were
weren't
their
really
ideas?
saying anything. It was just more in their attitude.
Their attitude towards them?
Yeah.
Okay. Who was your favorite teacher at the time?
At the time.
Well, like,
Broad expanse.
in high school, yeah. Who was your favorite teacher?
Our science teacher, Mr. Zelenka.
And how did he feel about the integration of black students?
No problems.
No problems at all?
Mm-mm.
Did
No
he
favoritism,
Did he
no-
encourage it? Or he just didn't have an opinion on
No
it?
opinion.
Okay. Based on what you experienced at school every day, did you notice any type of discrimination?
I wouldn't say so.
So
But
it was mainly
wasn't-
just the attitudes?
It wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot of people. You know, it was still a new thing, and there wasn't a lot.
Okay, so there were black students, but there weren't many black students.
Right.
And the little bit of black students didn't really face any troubles or anything?
No.
They just...
Uh-uh.
Okay. Can you compare your school experience without black students to with black students? Like, is it good, bad, or...
Don't really see a difference.
There wasn't really a
No,
difference?
uh-uh.
Do you feel that it was necessary to integrate the schools to ensure equal rights?
Oh, I would say, yeah. Yeah.
And can you elaborate on that? Like, what do you think needed to be done?
Because I think they got a better chance at a more varied education, and it just seems to me that there would be more at that time, there would be more opportunities in the counties than what there were in the cities.
Okay, so genuinely speaking, black people went to school normally in the city than the county?
Yeah.
Were they all black schools?
Too young to remember.
Too
I'm
young to
assuming.
remember?
Yeah.
Were there any white students that went to any of the city schools?
Oh, sure.
So they were integrated before schools around you were
Oh, yeah.
integrated?
Yeah.
How do you like how the schools are run today?
That would be no, but that has nothing to do with racism.
Okay, so you don't think that any type of like attitudes towards black students you don't think carry through schools today?
I think for a brief time, maybe 15 to 20 years ago, I think there was more of an issue then than what there is now.
Okay. Do you think that going so long without black people in your everyday life, like at school, like since you didn't have black people in your classes until around the 10th grade, you said, do you think that affected your view of black people?
No.
Because you didn't see them every day? You still saw them as just regular people?
Yep.
And in your personal opinion, do you think that the education got better when it integrated because it was more of like an understanding of everyone?
That's a tough one.
Do you think that the integration bettered education for everyone, not just Black?
Yeah, I would say that. But at the time when I was there, it was like everybody was basically equal. There was no issue of racism at the time when I was in school. It may have been prior, and it may have come afterwards, but when I was there, I honestly can't say that I saw an issue of discrimination
at
and
your own
racism.
school.
Yeah.
Did you hear of any discrimination issues at
Citywide,
other schools?
in the city, yeah. There's
Oh,
always
okay.
issues, but there always has been issues in the city, so you can't judge by that. That's
Okay.
always been there.
So genuinely speaking, schools that had more Blacks in them received more discrimination. Since your school had so little of them, you think that they weren't discriminated against?
It's possible.
Okay. All right.
And we were also, again, brought up in a time, at least in my own family, it wasn't a topic that was discussed. I was taught, I am an only child, you accepted everybody no matter what. So it was never an issue of, oh, I'm better than or they're different. You just accepted them outright. And that's how it was.
That's good. So you grew up in a time period where a lot of people
In my
disliked.
personal experience,
Yes.
I can't say that for everybody else.
That's great because in that time period, people raised their children to be discriminative and stuff like
But
that.
in
so
my own family, no, it wasn't like that.
that's good. Well, thank you, Debbie. Smile.